Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
Welcome back to Battles of American Civil War, which hosts Bang and Dang, and we have come to an end of an era on today's podcast as the Atlanta campaign officially comes to an end with this Battle of Jonesborough, and I'm guessing you guys know what's going to happen. Old Rebels, this is the last stand of the Rebs, man. They're about done after this. I don't even know why they keep fighting for another, 8 months. Sad. Sad. August 31st through September 1st. Old Sherman still battling, he's battling Hardy, but Hood's the overall guy here. Last battle of this campaign. And boy, oh boy, the Rebels couldn't do anything here. Here we go. Before we get into it, go check out our YouTube at Bang Dang Network. We post shorts, clip, the regular stuff on YouTube. And our YouTube exclusive Dart League. But if you're just listening on podcasts, apps, specifically Spotify, Apple, give us a review, share us with your friends, answer that Spotify question. Jonesborough, August 31st through September 1st. Let's take a little rewind on what we learned in this Atlanta campaign. Sherman commanded the military division of the Mississippi, which included elements of 3 Union armies. At the start of the campaign, which changes dramatically here, George H. Thomas led the Army of the Cumberland. James B. McPherson directed the Army of the Tennessee. John Schofield commanded the Army of the Ohio. And then we know the death of McPherson at the Battle of Atlanta was July 22nd, and this led to significant changes.
Had to. What else can you do? Well, the changes were Sherman named Oliver Otis Howard, formerly the 4th Corps leader, to replace McPherson. Joseph Hooker, the 20th Corps leader, he believed that he should have been chosen. So he was like, you know what? I'm resigning. And so he was replaced by Henry Warner Slocum.
Oh, Henry Slocum.
We haven't seen him in a while. David S. Stanley, he assumed command of the 4th Corps. Later, John M. Palmer asked to be relieved of his duties of the commanding the 19th Corps, and he was replaced by
14th Corps, yeah.
Right, sorry. The 14th Corps, and he's replaced by Jefferson C. Davis.
Hey, look at that.
Just before Jonesborough, Greenville M. Dodge. He led the left wing of the 16th Corps. He was wounded, and he's replaced by Thomas E. G. Ransom. Man, you got yourself a whole new lineup here. George Stoneman, he's Schofield's cavalry commander, was captured during a raid, and his division wrecked.
Gone. Bye-bye, Stoneman.
So he's out.
Yeah, well, Thomas's army consisted of Stanley's 4th Corps, Davis's 14th Corps, Slocum's 20th Corps, and the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Cavalry Divisions led by Edward McCook, Kennard Garrard, and Hugh Judson Kilpatrick, respectively.
Oh, respectively.
Howard's army was made up of John Logan's 15th Corps, Ransom's left wing of the 16th Corps, and Francis Preston Blair Jr.'s 17th Corps. Schofield's small army included the 23rd Corps and the remnant of a cavalry division led by Horace Capron, maybe? At the beginning of August, Thomas's army numbered 45,000. Howard had 21, and Schofield only had about 12.
You can muster.
Mustered up about 12 of them.
That's still quite a bit. Blair's 17th Corps had only 6,400 soldiers left after suffering serious losses at the Battle of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Scheuneman's forces outnumbered about 85,000 at most. According to sources, 1st of August, Sherman's armies counted about 75,659 infantry, 5,499 artillery, 10,517 cavalry, for a total of 91,675 soldiers. It's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. 1st of September, they mustered around 67,674 infantry, 4,690 artillery, 9,394. So basically their whole cavalry. So they had 81,750 men for this battle.
Lost 10,000 guys from their army in a month.
Right.
The most of it being obviously infantry, which lost damn close 8,000 men.
Usually that's what you're going to get.
Obviously.
I mean, artillery took a big hit too.
Cavalry only lost
very little.
1,000.
Very little.
May 1864, Confederate Army of Tennessee under Joseph Johnson included 3 infantry, which was the Georgia militia under Gustavus Woodson Smith, a cavalry corps led by Joseph Wheeler, and an independent cavalry division under William Hicks Jackson. The start of the campaign, the infantry corps commanders were William J. Hardy, John Bell Hood, and Leonidas Polk. Polk, we all know, was killed at Pine Mountain June 14th.
Sure was.
And soon replaced by Alexander P. Stewart, July 7th.
Damn right. Henry D. Clayton, he took command of Stewart's former division. Meanwhile, Edward Walthall, he took over James Canty's division. And John C. Brown, he assumed command of Thomas Hinman's division. So there's been a lot of changes here.
Right.
Both sides.
Not even the same armies.
Right. General Johnston, he's replaced in Army command by Hood.
Mm-hmm.
That was happened on the 17th of July because Johnston messed up way too many times.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Right. Stephen D. Lee took over Hood's former corps. William H.T. Walker, he was moited at the Battle of Atlanta, and his division divided among the divisions of Hardy's corps.
Well, speaking of Hardy's Corps, it consisted of the divisions of William B. Bate, Benjamin Cheatham, and Patrick Claiborne. Lee's Corps was made up of divisions of Brown, Carter, L. Stevenson, and Clayton. Stewart's Corps included the divisions of Walthall, Samuel Gibbs French, and William Wing Lauren. Wheeler's Corps consisted of cavalry divisions led by William T. Martin, John H. Kelly, and William Y. C. Humes. Supposedly, author Albert E. Castell estimated Hood's strength in August as 30,000 less than Sherman's, or about 55,000 total.
Right.
Military historian Mark M. Boatner III estimated that Hood had 37,000 infantry and 5,000 Georgia militia at the start of August.
And the Georgia militia, so he had about 41.
Instead of 55,000? That's
42.
Either way, they're badly outnumbered.
Yeah, way. Always are. Well, as we all know, because we did it, the Atlanta campaign began in early of May in 1864, when Sherman's 100,000 men moved against Johnson's 62,000 strong.
Completely different numbers that you just fucking gave.
During this very campaign, both sides were reinforced. Union General-in-Chief Ulysses S. Grant ordered Sherman to move against Johnson's army, break it up, get into the interior of the enemy's country as far as you can, inflicting all the damage you can against their war resources. That don't mean burn down the cities, assholes.
Sure, can't go back. You can't have a strategic stronghold if there's nothing to go back to.
True. Atlanta was a critical Confederate railroad hub, as we all know. It was a great and very, very, very much needed manufacturing center. It was a very reliable supply point. So Sherman's, guess what?
Might as well hit that.
We're going to take out Macon.
Right. The major confrontations were the battles of Rocky Face Ridge, May 5th to the 9th, Resaca, May 13th to the 16th, in May, New Hope Church in Dallas on May 25th to the 27th, and Kennesaw Mountain, June 27th.
Fantastic.
Johnson was driven steadily back toward Atlanta.
He was.
Johnson was replaced by Hood, like we said, after Sherman's forces flanked the Confederate Army out of its Chattahoochee River defenses July 9th. Then Hood attacked Thomas's army at the Battle of Peachtree Creek July 20th and attacked McPherson's at the Battle of Atlanta, which resulted in McPherson going bye-bye. Mm-hmm. Both assaults failed with heavy Confederate losses.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah. They just couldn't. There was nothing they could do. There was no defending Atlanta. None.
It's hard. It's too hard, especially at this point. I mean, early on in the war, maybe that's why it never happened.
Right.
But, yeah. Well, while occupying Decatur, Sherman's troops wrecked the Georgia Railroad, which ran east from Atlanta to Augusta. Union cavalry under Lavelle Rousseau, he joined Sherman's army after a successful raid to cut the Montgomery and West Point Railroad. He did that at Opelika, which is in Alabama. By the 25th of July, William Weyerman's right. What?
WWW.
By the 25th of July, William Weyerman Wright's railroad construction gangs, they rebuilt the Chattahoochee Bridge, repaired the railroad as far as Sherman's camps.
Good for him.
Sherman, he brought the Army of Tennessee, now commanded by Howard, from the east side of Atlanta to the west side.
Yeah, all right, you guys are switching up sets.
They should have been on the west side from the beginning.
My, clearly not.
Right.
Sherman wanted Howard's army to cut the Macon and Western Railroad, which ran south from Atlanta to Macon. July 27th, Sherman also ordered McCook's and Stoneman's cavalry to launch raids against the Macon Railroad. Howard's army was blacked at the Battle of Ezra Church, July 28th. However, Ezra Church was a Union tactical victory, while Union losses numbered 632. Confederate casualties were nearly 5 times greater.
Oh, wow.
Kicked ass at Ezra Church.
They did. The Union cavalry raids were a fiasco.
Yeah, usually were. Their cavalry has not been very good, no matter what army it is.
They can barely even saddle their horses.
Right.
Those damn Yankees. McCook's cavalry, they reached Lovejoy Station after destroying several hundred wagons on the very way, which we showed you that. His troopers temporarily damaged the railroad, but on the return route, they were surrounded by old rebel cavalry at Noonan. Is it Noonan or Newman?
Noonan.
Noonan?
Noonan.
In the Battle of Brown's Mill, they escaped after sustaining a loss of 600 men.
They did.
Stoneman, he was supposed to damage the railroad, but he instead rode to Macon in an attempt to liberate the Union captives at Andersonville Prison.
Oh, instead, what happened?
Wow. Well, his 2,200-man division was surrounded by 3 of Wheeler's brigades. Stoneman was captured with 700 men, and his division gone.
Bye.
Adios.
Well, meanwhile, Kilpatrick's cavalry, which previously guarded the railroad, was now brought forward.
But
Sherman sent the 23rd and 14th Corps southward to cut the Macon Railroad, but this operation failed at the Battle of Utoy Creek, August 5th through the 7th. After that, Sherman tried to bombard Atlanta into submission with 20-pounder Parrott rifles from Francis de Grass's Battery H, 1st Illinois Artillery, and 3 4.5-inch ordnance rifles. Plan also ended in failure August 12th when 2 of the Parrotts burst and ordnance rifles ran out of ammo. Yeah. Well, what are you going to do, man? Not everything goes your way.
Yeah, you got to get right sooner or later, man. Right? Something's got to go your way sooner or later. And you better hope it's sooner than later.
Right.
Well, after that, Hood ordered Wheeler to destroy the railroad supplying Sherman's army. He said, screw that shit. Got to get rid of that railroad, bud. 10th of August, Wheeler set out with 8 cavalry brigades from Covington. He inflicted minor damage to the railroad at several places and captured some small garrisons.
Ooh.
Nice. Still slows you down.
I guess.
Wheeler was then repulsed in the Second Battle of Dalton and then moved his cavalry east into Tennessee, where he was no threat to Scheuman's railroad.
Yep, bye.
Boatner concluded that Wheeler's raid had no significant effect on Sherman's operations whatsoever.
Didn't.
Just waste of time. With Wheeler out of the way, Sherman ordered Kilpatrick to break the Macon Railroad.
Macon.
Break that son of a bitch.
Well, evening August 18th, Kilpatrick left Sandtown with 4,700 cavalry and 2 artillery batteries. Kilpatrick's division made slow progress though opposed by only 400 Confederate cavalry and 2 guns under Lawrence Sullivan Ross. When Kilpatrick finally drove Ross out of Jonesborough late August 19th, it began to rain so hard that Union cavalrymen were unable to start fires to burn ties and bend the rails.
Right.
Kilpatrick headed for Lovejoy Station, where his division ran into an ambush, which we just covered. In that battle, Kilpatrick's troopers broke out of the trap by overrunning Ross's brigade with a saber charge. Yeah. The Union troopers escaped into friendly lines after losing 237 men. Confederate railroad gangs quickly repaired the track, so the raid was another failure.
Oh, shit. Just getting beat down and kicked and spat upon. Sherman knew that the Macon and Western Railroad was operable on the 23rd of August when a train was observed into Atlanta.
Yeah, I bet you that would do it, huh?
He's like, what the hell is that? Damn.
Motherfucker.
He asked his 3 army commanders when they would be ready to carry out the plan that he already discussed with them. And Thomas replied, about 2 days, sir.
2 days, we got it.
After filling the wagons with 15-day rations, the Union Army began pulling out of its positions on the 25th of August. On that very day, the 20th Corps withdrew to entrenchments that cover the railroad bridge across the Chattahoochee. That's cool.
Well, Thomas
They get to stop sitting here and march a little while and then go sit there for the longest of times. It's not very fun when you're
4 days
sitting in entrenchments.
Why not? You're by the river.
I guess.
Thomas's other 2 formations, the 4th and 14th Corps, pulled out of their trench lines and moved south to Utoy. Howard's 3 Corps also fell back from their defenses and marched south. Only Schofield's 23rd Corps remained in position near East Point. Garrard's cavalry guarded Sherman's northern flank while Kilpatrick's covered the southern flank. All right, they got everything covered, huh? Because they already know both of these, Lee and Johnston, are Hood now, but they all I guess any army would, that's the first thing you want to do is try to flank them.
Right. Well, General Hood detected the movement. He did not even try to disrupt it.
Yeah, this guy doesn't do too well this battle. Spoiler alert.
I think he's just done. I think he's like, you know what? I was cool with it in the beginning of the war. What's the sense now? He knows he's not going to be a general for the North when they lose. He might not even get pardoned. Well, don't they all get pardoned?
Yeah, nobody gets charged with shit.
A couple of these guys end up in Congress and shit, didn't they?
A couple of them were governors after this.
Evening of 28th of August, Thomas's 2 Corps.
Hi, my name 2 Corps.
Thomas. On the evening of 28th of August, Thomas's 2 Corps reached Red Oak. Howard's 3 Corps arrived at Fairburn farther west. Both places were on the Atlanta and West Point Railroad, which went west from Atlanta.
I would assume so.
All right. Schofield withdrew from East Point.
Let me guess, it's east?
Right. He withdrew from East Point to connect with Thomas's left flank. Sherman's forces spent all day on the 29th of August wrecking the railroad.
Better wreck that railroad.
To the grandma's house we go.
A deluded Hood believed the Union withdrawal meant that Sherman was about to retreat. I mean, come on, why would he? Hood was convinced in his delusion by exaggerated reports of Wheeler's success and the report of a local woman who was denied food by Union troops who claimed they did not have enough for themselves. On the contrary, author Albert E. Casto argued that Hood was not fooled at all, but that he understood Sherman was launching a major offensive towards the South. Right. Sure.
From the way it was looking like, it looked like Hood is like, oh, these guys are going somewhere else.
But there's no way he would believe that they're retreating. I mean, Atlanta's already in a siege of a, he's not fucking retreating.
You got Atlanta over in a siege, and you got Grant. He's pretty much just stalking Lee right now.
Pretty much.
It's crazy.
Grant and Lee are like, hey, we'll send a few skirmishers out, but they're
waiting.
We're gonna rest for the next 4 months.
Right. They're both waiting to see what happens down south. Because they already know they're the final finale.
Right. But we gotta let all the background characters take care of their fucking storyline before we reach our arc.
Here we go. Here's the climax. And then it's downhill after that. You can turn the movie off.
Well, if you're a fucking rebel sympathizer, yeah.
Or even a Union sympathizer. It's just terrible. Terrible place to be for the next 10 years. It's a country divided even longer.
Reconstruction, baby.
And if for everybody to be like, I guess we can start backgammon night again with the Joneses over there. Whoever left of them.
Right.
Oh, jeez. Hood's dilemma was that he did not know if Sherman was heading for Jonesborough or Rough Ready, or if it was Sherman's plan was a ruse to draw away Atlanta's defenders so that the 20th Corps could seize the city. Hood, he understood that Jonesborough was a likely target of Sherman's maneuver. So, Hood's error was not realizing that Sherman's forces would reach it so soon, so close, and so strong, supposedly, quote, unquote.
All right. Well, 7 a.m., August 30th, Howard's Army of the Tennessee began marching south with Kilpatrick's cavalry leading the way. 15th Corps was on the left, 16th Corps on the right, followed by the 17th Corps right behind.
Fantastic.
Confederate cavalry under Ross and Frank Crawford Armstrong initially put up such tough resistance that Kilpatrick was reinforced by Wells S. Jones's brigade of William Babcock Hazen's 15th Corps Division. Okay. As per Sherman's orders, Howard halted at Renfro Place in mid-afternoon, but discovered there was no local water source for soldiers. Like, we can't stay here.
No. Well, Howard then decided to advance 3 miles to the Flint River.
Oh, no, don't drink it.
Since Sherman gave him the option to march as far as Jonesborough. He's like, you can go to Jonesborough if you want.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't advise that. At least a couple miles back. Howard's leading troops pressed onward against weaker opposition and reached the Flint River where the Union cavalry and Jones's brigade seized a bridge before the old rebel horsemen could burn it.
Nice.
Fantastic. It's always nice when you get a win like that.
Right. We don't have to build your own bridge and try to ford across.
Like, oh, thank God. People's hands are calloused and shit. It's ridiculous. Now go fight.
Right.
Logan's 15th Corps advanced across the river and entrenched on a ridge about half a mile west of Jonesborough at dusk.
Uh-oh.
13th, 17th, 16th. 16th and the 17th Corps had fallen behind, so Howard declined to attack.
And we gotta wait for these fucking assholes.
What the hell?
Well, unknown to him, there were only 2,500 Confederates in Jonesborough, so he could have attacked.
Oh, wow.
As late as 1 p.m., August 30th, Hood telegraphed Hardee that he did not believe that there was a threat to Jonesborough. Oh, jeez.
Dude, he could have easily took it.
Hood only realized that the situation was critical at 6 p.m. when Armstrong and Infantry Brigade Commander Joseph Horace Lewis reported to him that Jonesborough was in immediate danger. Hood ordered Lewis to hold the place at all hazards, sent Hardee's corps, followed by Lee's corps, marching in the night to Jonesborough. Said, you guys better get there fucking quick.
Should have been there already. Wow. Well, Hood, he instructed Hardee to assume command of both corps, attack the Union forces in the morning, drive them into the Flint River.
Damn! What are they, a bunch of buffalo on a cliff?
That very following day, while cavalry held the Atlanta fortification, Hood's army would throw itself on Sherman's left flank and crush it.
That's what they always are hoping to do.
In case Hardee's attack failed, Stephen D. Lee's corps was to march back to Rough and Ready in order to cover the retreat of the army from Atlanta. His chief of staff, Francis A. Shoup, he directed the military equipment and ammunition to be assembled and prepared for evacuation from Atlanta by train.
Ooh, so they're like, all right, guys, this is it.
Yeah.
If we don't crush fucking Howard's army right now,
We gotta go.
we got to get out of.
We gotta shoop-a-doop.
we got to shoop-a-doop out of here. Yeah. 9 a.m. Howard received a message from Sherman, who instructed him, "I want you to get possession and fortify some one point on the road," meaning pretty much the railroad itself. "And we must have that road, and it is worth to us a heavy battle."
Oh.
Howard replied that the Confederates were shoving troops down here with great rapidity, and that he believed they intended to attack.
Well, of course.
Howard observed that the Confederates in Jonesborough were by this time too strong to be attacked.
They weren't last night.
Right. Hardee found that it was not possible to attack the Union forces in the morning either, so both of these guys are like, we can't do nothing.
They found out, they're like, oh shit, this is going to be a fucking doozy. Holy shit, I better get that right home to mom letter.
Right. Should have brought more than 15 days rations.
You ain't kidding.
That's what they're all thinking. Like,
Son
damn
of
it.
a bitch. You just look at the weakest ones and you put them in the front line.
Why?
Less mouths to feed when it's over.
I guess. All right.
Misdirected by a false report, Hardee's corps did not arrive until dawn, and it was 9 a.m. before it was all in position at Jonesborough.
Jeez.
Like, it's a little late. Surprise attack's over with.
Well, I don't think it was ever going to be a surprise attack, but
Lee's corps was not expected until noon, so he wasn't even there. Informed that he was facing 3 Union corps and that 2 more were nearby, Hardee asked Hood to come to Jonesborough to assume command. He's like,
dude, I don't know if I could do this on my own, Hood. You got to get down here.
He's like, buddy, this isn't going to be just a little battle.
Right.
We're about to have a Vicksburg all over again.
I think you don't know what's about to happen here.
Right. Do you want to be part of this, bud? You want to be in those history
He's like,
books?
no, I don't.
He's like, no, I'm good where I'm at.
Like, don't worry, I'll have a fort named after me one day.
Well, right. Hood responded by reiterating his order to attack. He said, fix bayonets.
Yep. And then you guys better go down there and hand to hand if you have to.
He goes, yep, just nonstop. Meanwhile, Howard's troops were busily improving their field fortification. I mean, this is
Can't be having that.
Then you allow that to happen. I think they should just went in and just smashed it.
Yeah. Yep. And the divisions in Logan's 15th Corps were ranged with William Harrow's on the right, Hazen's on the left, Peter J. Osterhaus is in reserve. John M. Corse's division of the 16th Corps was on Logan's right. George E. Bryant's brigade of the 17th Corps was on Logan's left. The remainder of Ransom's 16th Corps was on the west bank of the Flint River behind Logan's right flank, and the rest of Blair's 17th Corps was on the west bank behind Logan's left flank. Bridges were built so that the 3 corps were mutually supporting. Yeah, come over at the same time, baby.
They go out when you don't hit them, but
Right.
you can't put these motherfuckers out to save your life.
John W. Fuller led the other 16th Corps Division, and the 2 17th Corps Divisions were commanded by Giles Alexander Smith and Charles R. Woods, respectively.
Oh, fantastic. I like it.
Well, it seems they got all their ducks in a row. What's your answer to this? So, Federal or rebels?
Right. One of Kilpatrick's cavalry brigades was deployed farther south on the east bank, covering Anthony's Bridge, backed by a 4-gun battery on the west bank.
Oh, there you go.
Altogether, Howard counted 12,000 troops in a line.
Did he actually go like 1,
Right.
2,
And 7,500 in reserve.
Damn.
I'm sure they have a set of mo in each line and regiment because they probably follow the same thing as the North.
Well, you would think this is the North.
All right, so I'm saying South and North would follow the same battle tactics.
Well, you would think you have an estimate of who's in your thing. You don't really know.
He also had the 1st Missouri Engineer Regiment and from the Army of Cumberland. He had those guys on call. They were 1,000 strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just in case you need to rebuild some shit.
By 1:30 p.m., S.D. Lee's corps finally reached Jonesborough in its entirety.
He was expected by noon. What are you doing?
His soldiers, very, very little sleep in the last 2 days. They're very
bet.
tired. And they're like, oh, you guys weren't planning on fighting today, were you? Can we at least get some sleep?
Nope.
Not today, Charlie.
Well, unfortunately for him, a brigade detailed to escort Lee's ammunition train had to make a detour because the direct road was blocked by the Federales. Oh, it was blocked by the Federals. Though Hardee's and Lee's corps had a present for duty strength of 26,000 infantry, Historians estimate that only 20,000 were available.
Oh, jeez.
Hundreds of men fell out along the way, and one general reported that he had never seen so much straggling.
All right.
They're done with this war,
All right,
guys.
they're over with. What's the point?
Hardee arranged his forces with his own corps under Patrick Cleburne on the left and Lee's on the right.
Wow. And I got poor morale with soldiers.
Nobody cares, dude.
Oh, shit. I mean, come on, guys. This is a major battle. Get your shit together. Yeah. I expect to be professionals if you can't handle the skirmishes. In Hardee's corps, Cleburne's division under Mark Perrin Lowry, he was on the left. Bates' division under Brown was on the very right. And Chetham's division under George Earl Maney was behind Lowry. Mm-hmm. A battalion of sappers and horseless cavalrymen, just call them infantry, led by John McGurk.
McGurkin.
McGurk. McGurk.
Jerkin my McGurk.
McGurk and Jerkin supported the Cleburne. And Lee's corps, I'm sorry if there's any McGurk lineage out there and listen to this.
Well, it's actually probably like McGurk or
McGurk. It's call me Johnny M. It's call me Johnny M.
Johnny Mac.
Johnny Mac. There you go. Johnny Mac. Gurk.
What up, Gurk?
That was his trademark. Gurk. TM. In Lee's corps, Stevenson's division was on the left. Brown's division under James Patton Anderson on the very right. Clayton's division was behind Anderson. Jackson's cavalry protected both flanks.
Well, good for you.
Look at those guys.
Oh, Hardee.
Dual protectors.
Right. Double protectors. Hardee prescribed that the
protecting some bitch. You. Oh, you double protector, you.
you devil protecting son of a bitch, you. Well, Hardee prescribed that the two corps assault would be made in echelon from left to right. Hardee wanted Lowry's division to attack first, followed by Brown's and Maney's divisions. Next to attack, Stevenson's division would engage Logan's center, while Anderson and Clayton delivered a crushing blow against the Federal left.
A crushing blow. Ain't nothing worse than that.
In short, Cleburne's corps would move north on the left and attack the Federal line held by ransom soldiers, while Lee's corps was to make the attack on the right against Logan's.
Supposedly. So it all worked out and seemed good.
Well, Hardee reminded his generals that the troops must attack with fixed bayonets, but Brigade Commander Arthur Middleton Manigault recalled that when his soldiers were informed, they seemed apathetic.
They're like,
fuck you guys. You guys want us to go down there? We're already tired. We've been marching for fucking 4 days, most of us, and you guys want us to go down there with bayonets and fight hand-to-hand against these guys?
Guarantee you that's what they're saying last night. Like, I got a feeling these motherfuckers are going to want us to go bayonets tomorrow. They better not. This better just be a sit back and shoot and reload. It's like, no, it looks like we're going to shoot once and run like hell.
Not today, boys.
Not today. Fix those bayonets. Get them extra rusty.
Right, piss on them and fucking rub shit all over them.
I bet
you they did
everything they could.
I mean, that's what Indians did with their bow and arrows.
Dirty bastards killed old Clara or whatever.
Well,
Celeste or Elsa.
Elsa, yeah, yeah, it was Elsa. Yeah.
Oh, Elsa. Whatever. As Daddy said back in the day, she even did the thing for 1923. Isn't that crazy? Hardee's artillery opened fire 3 p.m., 31st of August. Cleburne's skirmishers went into attack about 10 minutes later. Lee, he prematurely ordered his corps to attack, mistaking the skirmisher fire for the signal.
How many times that happened in this war?
Lee's main effort fell on Hazen's division. Lee's first line troops overran the Union picket lines, brought to a stop by tense rifle and artillery fire. Much of Zachariah Diaz's brigade fled from the battlefield.
Pussies.
No. Second line attacked and suffered the same fate. It was a one-sided slaughter. Idiots.
Not certain well. Though urged to continue by their generals and officers, the Confederate rank and file went to ground and declined to charge. Once the attack was halted, Logan's infantry began firing deliberately and with terrible accuracy.
Oh, shit.
Watching from the Federal lines, Logan admired Anderson's bravery in the battle before the Confederate general was shot and wounded. He's like, this dude's fucking bull. Yeah. Hardee wished to renew the attack, but Lee informed him that his troops were in no condition to do it.
Right. They're like, didn't even...
Like, dude, do you not remember? We just marched from Atlanta. Can we get some fucking rest here? Yeah. And they're the ones that started the attack.
You ain't kidding. That was just poorly played out here.
Fucking hoods. Like, hey, man, I'm all the way back here in Atlanta. You guys better have your bayonets fixed.
Right. That's just insane. Well, meanwhile, Lowry's division moved northwest. And just as it was turning north toward the Federal lines, It was unexpectedly hit by 5 from Kilpatrick's dismounted cavalry, concealed behind a fence rail and armed with Spencer repeating rifles.
Spencers.
Oh, man, that's a game changer right there, boys. You got those Spencer repeating
We
rifles.
have not had a battle yet where whoever had the Spencers lost.
Insanity. The cavalry's attack was so effective that Lowry's men broke off from the attack against Ransom's main line and charged west against the Union cavalry.
Oh, wow.
Kilpatrick's men repelled 2 attacks, but the old Rebs, they got 2 guns out of it, and they forced the old Unions, and they forced the old Bluecoats to retreat across the Anthony's Bridge.
Instead of returning to its original goal, Lowry's division pressed the cavalry across the Flint River and was eventually stopped by Giles A. Smith's division, which was west of the river. Smith's division also recaptured the 2 guns.
Oh, shit.
Howard remarked, "Nothing, even if I planned it, could have been better done to head an entire Confederate division away from the battlefield."
No shit.
Look at that.
You ain't kidding. Holy shit.
Even if I planned it.
Wow, Brown.
At least it didn't try to be an asshole and take credit for it. It went exactly how I planned.
Right. Brown's division rushed the left flank of Corse's division, but ran into a deadly hail of bullets and artillery projectiles.
Why do Southerners pronounce things way longer than it needs to be? Because projectiles. Nope, got those projectiles.
The survivors of Jesse J. Finley's and Thomas Benton Smith's brigades took cover in a ravine and refused to advance any farther.
Nope.
Finding that his division was all alone, Maney ordered a halt and sent a courier to Claiborne asking for further orders. Lowry finally managed to retrieve his troops, but a look at the federal positions convinced him, and guess what? They were unsaleable.
Yep, we can't do nothing more against these guys.
That said, this is just insanity. Sorry, Jonesborough, you got to go.
A staff officer reported that Lee's corps was demoralized. Therefore, Hardee canceled the assault of Claiborne's corps, authorized its withdrawal, and ordered Lowry's division to march to the support of Lee's troops.
Dude, it's just a breakdown.
Howard reported sustaining 172 casualties, all but 18 in Logan's corps. According to historians, Hardee's Confederates suffered 2,200 casualties, including 1,400 from Lee's corps and 800 from Claiborne's. You know, wonder why Lee's corps was devastated and demoralized. It lost like everybody.
And they just got there.
Right.
Jeez.
Author Ronald H. Bailey wrote that Lee's troops lost 1,300, Claiborne's soldiers lost 400, while the federal total was only 179 total.
Sad. That's a massacre right there.
think?
Holy shit. Well, the Federales lost 179 out of 14,170 engaged on the 31st.
That's a hell of a percentage.
While the old Confederates lost 1,725 out of 23,811
Pretty
engaged.
shitty percentage.
Faux show. That's so bad.
Wow, and the Confederates actually had almost 10,000 more engaged.
Yeah, but they were lollygagging around, didn't know what the fuck.
I don't know about lollygagging, but
Unprepared.
oh.
Very. 3:45 p.m. Howard wrote a message to Sherman that the Confederates had attacked and were handsomely repulsed.
Handsomely.
Even though half his soldiers were not engaged, Howard declined to mount a counterattack. About an hour later, Sherman received Howard's note at Renfro Place. At the very same time, Sherman received even more momentous news.
Well, Schofield reported that his corps reached a position squarely on the Macon and Western Railroad and that Stanley's corps was moving up on his right flank.
This dude's just getting telegram after telegram.
Right.
It's like, oh, I like it.
Sherman jumped up and raised his right arm. At last, he severed the railroad line between Atlanta from Macon.
We got him, boys, right where we want him. Old Lincoln's going to be proud.
Old Abe. Schofield's 18th Corps marched that morning, 23rd Corps, my bad, marched that morning, and at 3 p.m., its lead division under Cox arrived at the railroad 1 mile south of Rough and Ready.
Some bitch.
Taking the railroad, boys. Didn't we just see last episode, or maybe it was 2 episodes ago, at Globe Tavern, when at Petersburg, they finally dismantled some railroad there, too. That wasn't rebuilt in 2 hours.
That was like the first time, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy.
Look at this. Look at everything shaping up for the old Union, isn't it?
Damn right. Finding his division opposed by dismounted cavalry and field works, Cox's troops stormed them, then marched north to Rough and Ready.
They said, get the fuck out of here.
Schofield's other division under Milo S. Haskell soon arrived at the railroad. Stanley's 4th Corps marched from Morrow's Mill and struck the railroad south of Schofield about 4 p.m. And it's everywhere. Caleb H. Carleton's brigade of Absalom Baird's 14th Corps reached the railroad 4 miles north of Jonesborough.
Dude, they're just fucking it all up.
Oh, damn.
Sherman instructed Schofield and Stanley to move south towards Jonesborough, destroying the railroad as they went.
Shit.
In Atlanta, Hood got reports that the railroad was blocked, and he feared that Sherman was about to attack the city from the south.
No shit.
6 p.m., he sent an order to Hardee that Lee's corps must return to Atlanta.
Southwest.
And the march
probably. North.
The march to start at 2 a.m., he says. Meanwhile, Hardee's corps was ordered to protect Macon and communications in the rear. When Hardee received the order, he sent Lee's corps away and shifted Lowry's division to hold his right flank.
Oh, shit.
Hood later described the fight on August 31st as a disgraceful effort because the number of Confederate dead was minimal compared to the forces engaged. I don't think it was minimal when you lost... what's the percent of 1,700 out of 23,000?
That was a lot.
Right. It's almost 10%. That's about 7% of your freaking thing.
Maybe.
What do you mean? 10%
Right.
would be 1,000, or 10% would be 1,300
Of
23,000.
Would be 2,300 or 2,200.
2,300, right. So if it was 1,700, it'd be like 7%. They lost 7% of their fucking troops. That's huge.
Around midnight, Hood finally got that news from Hardee that his attack had failed.
Uh-oh, he's shitting bricks now.
He realized that this meant that Atlanta must be abandoned and issued the necessary orders. When Lee's corps marched away from Jonesborough, Lowry's division replaced it on Hardee's right flank. Hardee had 12,000 troops to defend a 2-mile front.
Wow.
Brown's division held the center, and John C. Carter's division was deployed on the left flank. Carter replaced Maney, who was relieved for not attacking on the 31st of August. Lowry's troops, holding the area previously occupied by Lee's corps, were spread out in a single rank, 6 feet apart.
Oh, that's too far. Jeez. Since Lee's troops never properly fortified their front, Lowry's men were compelled to construct field fortifications, but for some unknown reason, they failed to prepare abatis.
Oh, my.
The division's 4 brigades were deployed left to right as follows: Charles H. Olmsted, John Ware, Hiram Granberry, and Daniel Govan. At dawn on September 1st, Stanley began carrying out Sherman's orders to destroy the railroad.
Ooh-wee. Get that shit done, boys. By 10 a.m., Stanley's corps reached Morrow Station, about 4 miles north of Jonesborough. And at noon, it was 2 miles away.
Uh-oh.
Haskell's division was north of Stanley, and Cox's division was still near Rough and Ready, wrecking the railroad. Sherman, he planned to place Davis's 14th Corps on Howard's left, wait for Stanley and Schofield to come down from the north to crush Hardee's right. Hardee detected that the 14th Corps was facing his right flank, so he reinforced it with 2 brigades. He's like, I see that.
The right flank was bent back to defend against an attack from the north and northeast. The apex of the salient was held by Govan's brigade. Lewis's brigade took position facing north on the west side of the railroad, while James McCulloch's, James McCulloch's division, James McCulloch's brigade was on the east side of the railroad facing almost east.
Oh, fantastic.
Lewis's and McCulloch's men created barricades within a abatis. Look at that.
Nice.
Govan ordered the consolidated 6th and 7th Arkansas Infantry Regiment on his right flank to withdraw 50 yards and build new field works, but the unit was caught in a crossfire by Union guns and its new fortifications damaged.
Oh, shit. That's got to piss you off. Jeez, old Pete. About 2:30 p.m., 1st of September, Thomas ordered Stanley's Corps to march immediately for Jonesborough. The arrival of the 19th Corps, 14th Corps pinched out Blair's Corps on Howard's left flank. Howard ordered Blair to march down the west bank of the Flint River, cross the east bank at Anthony's Bridge, and menace the old Rebs' left flank.
Yep, menace them.
You menace those bastards.
Let's go, Dennis.
Right. Just after 4 p.m., 1st of September, Davis's 14th Corps began its attack. The Corps had divisions led by William Carlin, James D. Morgan, and Baird.
Well, we already talked about Baird.
Right. Logan's 15th Corps moved up on Davis's right. Getting some help.
On the right, slowed by swampy terrain, Morgan's division advanced east to a ravine where the soldiers prepared rifle pits. On the left, Carlin moved south with 2 brigades, since his 3rd brigade was guarding the wagon train at Renfro Place. Carlin's right was a brigade of 500 U.S. regulars under John Rufus Eddy, probably, on his left, and Marshal Moore's brigade.
Okay.
Very dense underbrush slowed both brigades. Moore's troops were supposed to be supported by Stanley's troops, but they did not appear.
Oh, whoa, no.
Moore's brigade encountered the abatis in front of Lewis's Confederates and was repulsed. Eddy's regulars reached a low ridge and overran the original breastworks built by the 6th, 7th Arkansas, but were unable to push any farther.
Oh, that was it. Carlin's unsuccessful advance made Davis comprehend that the Confederate right flank was not in the air as reported.
Right.
But bent back across the railroad. Salients are vulnerable. And Davis decided to exploit this fact.
Well, good for you, Jefferson C. Davis.
He ordered Baird to have George Estes' brigade to attack the salient from the north. Baird was disgruntled for criticism from Sherman over his division's supposed lack of offensive spirit. Get these boys in line. We almost got it. Look at them. They don't even act like they want to put their lives out there. To ensure the attack would be carried out, Baird accompanied Estes' brigade on horseback. Estes, 1,139 soldiers deployed in 2 lines behind Edie's men. 10th Kentucky, 74th Indiana Infantry Regiments on the right, and 38th Ohio and 14th Ohio on the very left. Here we go, boys.
The fire of Mark H. Prescott's Battery C, 1st Illinois Light Artillery, was especially destructive.
Nice.
5 p.m., when Davis ordered the assault to begin, Estes' men ascended the ridge, threw themselves to the ground to avoid a Confederate volley and charge.
Oh, shit.
The two right-hand regiments overran the 6th and 7th Arkansas, but the Ohio regiments on the left were stopped in Lewis's abatis.
Nice.
By this time, Morgan's division was attacking as well. Estes asked for assistance from the 17th New York Infantry from Charles M. Lum's brigade, which is one of Morgan's units.
Ooh, we joined by the 17th New York. The 14th, 38th Ohio also broke into rebel lines.
Shit, dude. Can you imagine? Everybody's just, oh, man, the Rebs are like, what the fuck?
Oh, no. Now supported on their left, the 10th Kentucky and the 74th Indiana circled behind Govan's brigade, just as Morgan's division struck it from the west.
Oh, jeez.
In the melee, Govan and 600 men captured. Baird earned the Medal of Honor for his role in the success.
Good for you. Look at him. He said, fuck you want to talk to my guys that they were lackadaisical? Well, I'm going to earn myself a Medal of Honor.
Damn.
Fuck my guys, though.
Right. The 8 guns of Keyes, Arkansas Battery and Sweat's Mississippi Battery were taken.
Damn.
Farther east, Estes Ohio Regiments, 17th New York, Moore's Brigade. They overwhelmed Lewis's brigade and part of McCulloch's brigade, capturing a few hundred more Rebs. This was the only successful large-scale frontal attack in the Atlanta campaign.
Yeah, frontal attacks are not easy to come by. Well, responding to the emergency, Granbury realigned his right flank's units to face north. Claiborne led Alfred Jefferson Vaughn Jr.'s Tennessee Brigade into the gap and halted the Federal advance on the west side of the railroad. On the east side, McCulloch's brigade rallied and drove back Moore's brigade. Davis made no attempt to exploit his success, even though 2 of Baird's brigade were fresh. Sherman also did not expect anything more from Davis. He said, you did enough, bud.
Right.
Instead, he wondered where Stanley's corps was doing.
Right.
It's like, what, Stanley? Right. Stanley, where you at, buddy? The 4th Corps began advancing east of the railroad when Davis's men made their climatic assault, but was slowed by extremely thick underbrush. That's what Stanley's doing.
You can't have that thick underbrush. It's crazy. With Nathan Kimball's division on the right, John Newton's on the left. The 4th Corps captured a Confederate field hospital, but came up against a line of breastworks facing northeast. These were manned by remaining brigades of Carter's division, those of Maney, Carter, and Otho Strahl. When Hardee got news of Stanley's advance, he hustled these units into position to defend this right flank. Stanley, who was slightly wounded, approved the decision of Kimball and Newton to construct their own field fortifications, and it was soon too dark to do anything more. They're like, all right, boys, we're in it for the night. Tomorrow morning's going to be a hell of a day.
Well, during this day, what am I talking about? The day's over. Battle's over. During the day, Howard's 15th and 16th Corps remained largely quiet while Hardee reinforced his right flank by shifting troops from his left. Because it was misdirected, Blair's 6th, 17th Corps only marched as far as Anthony's Bridge, where it built field works on the east bank of the Flint River.
Well, that's nice.
Nevertheless, Sherman blamed Stanley for his failure to destroy Hardee's force. September 2nd, Sherman planned to surround Hardee if he remained in Jonesborough or to pursue him as far as Griffin if needed.
Meanwhile, Sherman was still under the misapprehension that both Hardee and Lee's Corps were at Jonesborough.
No, Lee's gone.
However, Cox asserted that Sherman knew that Lee's Corps was no longer at Jonesborough during the afternoon of the 1st of September.
Okay, so why even include that first line?
The 14th Corps lost 1,272 men that were murdered, wounded, and missing on the 1st of September.
Jeez.
These casualties were pointless, since the Macon and Western Railroad was cut on the afternoon of August 31st by Schofield and Stanley, rendering Atlanta indefensible.
Right.
They're just going to give up. They're fleeing.
Jeez. Well, according to Cox, Carlin's division sustained 371 casualties. Essie's brigade of Baird's division had 330, and Morgan's division lost a similar number.
Oh, wow.
Meanwhile, the Federals captured 865 Confederates. Confederate losses on September 1st numbered about 1,400, including 900 prisoners. In addition, two only badly 200 badly wounded were captured the following day.
Damn.
September 1st, Union losses were 1,274 out of 20,460 engaged, while Claiborne's division lost 911 himself, including 659 missing.
Damn.
Missing my ass. The motherfucker said, bye, and get out of here. Losses in Hardee's other two divisions were unknown.
Oh, wow. National Park Service called the battle a Union victory.
Well, I would fucking hope so.
Listed 1,149 Union and 2,000 Confederate casualties, but did not specify if this was for 1 or 2 days of battle.
Hey, guys, a bunch of people fucking got fucked up.
Right. On the very night of the 1st of September, Hardee's Corps slipped out of Jonesborough, marched to Lovejoy Station, completely undetected by their
How many
opponents.
times have we seen that?
Some historians claim that the fighting on the 1st of September was a Confederate tactical and strategic victory, because Hardee's successful defense with 3 divisions against 12 allowed Hood to safely evacuate Atlanta.
No, they wanted him to evacuate Atlanta.
Right. No. Right. Get the hell out of here.
On the evening of September 1st, Stewart's Corps and Smith's Georgia militia left Atlanta via the McDonough Road, heading south-southeast. Lee's Corps covered the movement from a position 6 miles south of Atlanta. Acting as a rear guard, French's division pulled out of Atlanta at 11 p.m. 5 locomotives, 81 boxcars were trapped inside Atlanta and had to be put to the torch by the Confederates.
Put down.
Since 28 boxcars were filled with ammunition, the resultant pyrotechnic display was spectacular. I bet it was.
Fuck.
The explosions were heard for miles. The Union troops under the command of Slocum occupied Atlanta the very next day. 2 p.m. that day, Slocum entered Atlanta and sent a telegram to his government. General Sherman has taken Atlanta.
Oh, shit. There it is, boys. Sherman's troop marched south, found Hardee's 10,000 troops entrenched 1 mile north of Lovejoy Station, the afternoon of 2nd of September. Minor skirmishing failed to induce Hardee to retreat during the day. On the morning of the 3rd of September, Sherman received an official message from Slocum that Atlanta was in federal hands and decided that it was time to end the campaign.
All right, boys, we did exactly what we came here to do. It was called the Atlanta Campaign, after all.
Right. The Union Army confronted Hardee until the 5th of September, and then they were like, see you later, losers.
Right.
Going back to Atlanta.
September 4th, General Sherman issued Special Field Order Number 64. Yeah, General Sherman announced to his troops that the Army, having accomplished its undertaking in the complete reduction and occupation of Atlanta, will occupy the place and the country near it until a new campaign is planned in concert with the other grand armies of the United States. So basically, we did our job, boys. It's time for you to just chill in Atlanta now.
Right.
And surrounding areas. And others. In his official dispatch, the Union Army Chief of Staff, Henry Halleck, Sherman wrote, Atlanta is ours and fairly won.
Fairly.
I shall not push farther on this raid, but in a day or so, I will march to Atlanta, give my men some rest.
Damn right.
Much needed fucking rest,
You ain't
too.
kidding.
Good for you, buddy.
I mean, you guys pat yourself on the back. You pretty much restored the Union.
Pretty much won the war.
Right. Several times between the 27th of August and 3rd of September, Sherman had opportunities to destroy all or a large part of Hood's army, but he failed.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing they never could do is destroy an army.
Sherman passed up these chances and single-mindedly focused on his original goal of capturing Atlanta by severing its rail connections to the rest of the
Do you really
Confederacy.
need to murder people? You captured Atlanta.
Right. Hood's army survived to fight another day, though, in a diminished form because of casualties and desertions.
Right. I would imagine so. After Atlanta's gone, most of these Confederates, when they heard about it, were like,
they're
what
done.
the fuck are we fighting for
It's
now?
over. However, Sherman's capture of Atlanta proved to be a strategic political triumph.
Yeah, well, because Grant's overland campaign reached a bloody stalemate with its siege in Petersburg, the North needed a victory before the 1864 election.
You ain't kidding.
Which is fucked up. They need now they're just doing political
Right,
stuff.
that's all it
it's
is.
just to the people of the North, the capture of Atlanta signaled that the war was being won. Only in late August, the Democratic Party adopted a platform that asserted the war was a failure. This was seen to be a false narrative. Like,
Of
what are you
course
fucking
they
talking about? We just took Atlanta.
Of course, the Democratic Party did.
All right, supporters of and it's McClellan of all people that's running for president.
Oh, shit.
Supporters of the Republican Party and President Abraham Lincoln were cheered by the victory. Of course they were.
Wow. In the South, fall of Atlanta was the cause for very much dismay.
It was. That's their last hope.
It crumbled. The local freaking citizens and everybody was just like, oh, shit. Or a lot of citizens probably like, fuck. It's gonna
About
shit
fucking
over with.
time, right?
Holy shit, we don't care. I never had any slaves anyway.
Especially people in Virginia are like, Dad, I can't even walk down the street.
Right. Lincoln went on to win the 1864 United States presidential election by 212 electoral votes to 21.
What are the most lopsided fucking victories ever?
And that was George B. McClellan. 1872, many of the fallen soldiers were disinterred and reburied in the Patrick R. Claiborne Confederate Cemetery.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if that still exists.
Famous scenes in 1939 American film Gone with the Wind depict the conflagration in Atlanta after the evacuation of the city by the old rebel army.
Cool. Just had to throw that in there, huh? All right.
There it is. Hood and Johnston and all those guys, or Johnston's not even there no more. Hood
did not do very well here.
I think Johnston probably
None of these
would've
guys
done better.
did. All these guys they're just done. They're fed up with it. None of them want to be in this war on the Confederate side no more.
It's over. It's over. That's just morale is just way down.
As it should be.
As it should be.
And I can just imagine as it's just going to get worse after the next couple battles that we got. Next week, we're going to take a look at the very, 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 very small battle of Berryville, which is going to be Philip H. Sheridan, who you recall just a couple episodes ago took over the army of Shenandoah.
Yeah, I wonder why.
And because Jubei Early was wrecking havoc around there. And this is going to be their first clash here. And then we're gonna, get to the big battle of Opequan, or the third battle of Winchester, which is an A battle, and that's gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one.
Nice and long. Nice and long. Oh yeah, look at that battle, dude. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. Oh yeah. That's two in a row. We're going to have some good ass fighting.
Very, very nice.
Love it.
Very, very, very.
And I would think
nice.
this is a big boost in the East because
big of a boost.
Grant's been stumped in Petersburg, so he's like, dude, we need to fucking do something in Shenandoah at least.
I think he's doing exactly what I said earlier. He's chilling like a villain, just waiting.
And then after that, we got some more Virginias. We got an Alabama. Oh, of course, the Confederates are like, we'll take an Alabama battle. Like, no, it's not even a battle.
Like, you get 3 Virginias. Well, give us an Alabama.
3 Virginias. A lot of Virginias and Georgia still coming up. Plus, we got Missouri. Plus, at the end here, what is it, October,
boys
November?
Missouri are fighting their ass off. They want to stay south. They're like,
And Kansas, we got some stuff going on here.
Kansas shit going on in there.
We do in November have the start to the march to the ocean by old Sherman. So, speaking of the end, today
at him getting epic campaigns.
Right. Today's battle was the beginning of the end, officially, for the Union. I mean, for the Union. For the, I guess for the Union.
Beginning and end was Gettysburg, actually, before Gettysburg.
Yeah, but that's 2 years ago now.
Exactly. The war should have been over with after Vicksburg, really.
Wait, Gettysburg was at 63.
63, it was a year ago.
Right. But still.
A year and a month.
But still. That was
should have been over.
They said it was the beginning of the end, but was it?
Should have been. Yes, it was.
A couple of battles went the Confederates' way this last year. They could have easily be where the Union is right now.
Maybe they got so close to D.C.
Right.
Not too long ago.
Exactly. Yeah, we got a lot to look forward to coming up here because the war's slowly winding down. We only literally, I mean, we got a lot of battles left, but it's slowly winding down. Stuff's going to start happening, and I just see so much blue in our future here. So, yeah, stick with us, especially next week. Third Battle Winchester, 2 back-to-back episodes of epic fighting. And, go check out our YouTube at Bang Dang Network. Subscribe. Give us a subscription on Spotify, Apple as well. Answer that Spotify question and give us a review. Share us with your friends. We'll be back next week for another big battle, Third Battle Winchester. We are about the
squeamish at Berryville thing there.
With the Berryville there.
Right, with the Berryville Stranglers. Bang Dang.